This is Life and Debt, directed by Stephanie Black. So the setting of Life and Debt is Jamaica in the 1970s, and it focuses on the effect on Jamaica over 20 plus years, including the United States and other wealthy countries. Some of the people and actors involved were Michael Manley, former Jamaican Prime Minister, Stanley Fisher, Deputy Director of the International Monetary Fund, Bill Clinton, former U.S. President, Jean Bertrand Aristide, former President of Haiti, and Jerry Kincaid, former President of Ghana. Some of the arguments in this film laid out were that the IMF does lend out money to Jamaica, but there is a very high interest rate causing businesses to have higher prices of goods. The establishment of free zones to have areas of manufacturing and provide paying jobs to Jamaicans. However, labor unions are banned and there are very bad working conditions, and the workers who refuse to work are forced to work with violence. Also, the paychecks are taxed for health care, which may not even exist. Banana industry, however, was successful because of a previous agreement with the UK guaranteeing free market. The U.S. protested the World Trade Organization, so now banana farms went into decline and could not compete with the large companies. Globalization is an argument that's laid out clearly in this film, and that's a term used to describe the interactions between countries that help each other and gain economic value to benefit each other and hopefully create a continued success. The argument for it is that every country involved will benefit. However, the argument against it is that it only benefits countries that are wealthy and have a greater access to resources. And Michael Manley was the man who signed the agreements that essentially supported the idea of globalization. And as this film progresses, we see exactly how globalization became a devastating idea for Jamaica. Some of the issues that arose during this time were that after World War II, to create a society where the citizens could thrive, Jamaica had to get in the system of accepting money from countries for support. But this agreement came with conditions, and Jamaica had to devalue its currency to make it similar to the US dollar. And also the government was not allowed to give money to its workers unless done with a high interest rate. The money that was lent to Jamaica was micromanaged on where that money could be used. And Jamaica also had limitations on imports, putting them at an economic disadvantage. Economy of Jamaica diminishing because of the International Monetary Fund. Agriculture and industry plummeted. Also, the IMF can only be changed by the US, Japan, Germany, England, Canada, and Italy by an 80% vote, so the development of third world countries becomes a very low priority. The biggest problem is that richer countries will always dominate over poor ones because of their access to resources and ability to hire cheaper workers. Local dairy industries in Jamaica producing milk were overcome by powdered milk from the US because it was cheaper to sell. The government was unable to keep up with paying off the debt that was accumulated, and over 50% of the income went to paying the interest. The debt kept growing into billions of dollars, and as a result, violence, poverty, and disease increased rapidly. The free zones included hard labor that paid only a few dozen dollars a month. There were often not boycotts of workers, but when there were, they were thwarted with ease. The deals made by countries are to benefit corporations while maximizing profits and expanding control. Stanley Fisher claimed that these deals would begin to benefit poorer, smaller countries in the long run. However, they will only benefit the richer countries, leaving the poor countries suffering. Jamaica and other small countries lose their government and economic stability, and currently the only area where Jamaica is successful is in tourism. So basically what's going on here is that there's a form of slavery. The people of Jamaica had no control over their lives while the country is being ran by other countries. The way the workers have to work for low wages and in horrible conditions is a form of slavery that has been adapted from the control other countries have over Jamaica. So as long as Jamaica is controlled by countries who have economic power over them, the people of Jamaica will suffer from this treatment. And the people who are affected most are farmers, which their devaluation of currency limits on imports caused prices of local produce to increase, but imports of richer countries went up. The workers, as I said before, is low wages, bad conditions, and the working in sweatshops. And for businesses, there's high interest rates and low imports. So my personal view on this is that there's no question the focus on supporting third world countries has declined. And the world market has become dominated by larger, wealthier countries, leaving the smaller countries with restrictions and disadvantages in imports and exports, of even their most produced goods like bananas in Jamaica's case. I agree with the filmmaker that countries like Jamaica have been left behind in trade, banking, and the world market, and deals that have been made tend to only benefit those who have the most to gain and hurt those who have the most to lose. With Jamaica being the focus of this film, we can see firsthand the effects of deals involving large and mostly successful countries doing nothing to provide help to struggling countries and focusing on their own economies, leaving smaller countries to be stuck with restrictions, making it impossible to compete with the rest of the world because of manipulation in the world market. So this film opened my eyes to how the world market is being monopolized by powerful countries and making it nearly impossible for third world countries to thrive. Globalization is an idea that can only benefit the countries who have the ability to maintain and grow their economy. Globalization, I think, being the focus of this film for me, is something that larger countries use to manipulate smaller countries while giving the false hope that the smaller countries will eventually benefit. And this is really a way to manipulate the world market through a larger country's eyes. So to sum up, basically in Life and Debt, it shows how Jamaica got into the deals with the United States and other countries to try to make an attempt at benefiting their country along with the rest of the ones they were involved in. However, Jamaica ended up getting the short end of the stick because really they were just manipulated and did not benefit at all in the long run like originally they said they would.